Have you ever found yourself needing to rename a bunch of files, but the only way you knew how to do that was to rename them one by one? Well, today I'm going to show you some Python code that you can write that will help you to rename a bunch of files at the same time with just a click of a button. Which reminds me, there are some buttons below this video that you can click on so that you don't miss out on any cool Python tips. Of course, learning can take time, but you have to start somewhere. Welcome back to Unboxish. This is the code that you need to write in order to run the program. But don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how to write this program step by step. So now let's get into unboxing this program. The first thing we need to do is import a module called OS. This will give us access to the file system and allow us to make changes to the file name. Now the next thing you want to do is go to the directory that holds all the files that you want to change. Type os.chdr and paste the file path here. Once you have that pasted, we need to change these backslashes to forward slashes so that Python can recognize it. Next, we want to check that we're actually in that directory. And you can do this by typing print, open parentheses, os.getCwd, parentheses. And let's run this. So you can see down here, the directory that it shows that we're in is the exact same directory that we pasted. So you always want to make sure you're checking your work as you go. The next thing you want to do is we want to see what's inside this folder. And we will do this by writing a for loop. So you will write for f in this part, put os dot list dir parentheses colon, and just write down here print f. Now if we run this code, we should see a list of all the files that are in this folder. Here is showing a list of all the files that are in this folder. And right now you can see the first part of the file name shows the name of the picture. This middle part shows the brand. Well, the second part shows the brand. And the last part has a number. The next thing I want to do is I want to separate the file name from the extension. And we can do that by writing os.path.splitText. Open parentheses and input f. Now if we run this, you can see what it did is create a tuple. The first list item in the tuple has the file name and the second part has the extension. So now that we have the file name and the extension separated, we can put these into variables by writing this. fname, comma, fextension equal to osPath.splitText, and we will just pass through f. We can show each variable by just writing print and pass in that variable that you want to show. So we'll try fname and run this. And you can see that it just returns the file name. And if you want to show the extension, we'll just put ext here, run that, and it'll just give us the extension. Now we can actually use this dash to separate the file name. And you would do that by putting fname dot split parentheses quotation and pass in that hyphen. Now when we run this, you will see that it separated each part of the name wherever there was a hyphen and put in a comma. So it made a list. So now that we have the different parts of the file name separated, we can separate these into variables by writing f title. The second part we'll call f brand. And the last part we'll call fnum. We want to have that equal to fname.split. So now that we have these separated into their own variables, we can now print out each one of them individually. So go to a new line and type in print. And let's print out the title. Now you can see that the first part of the file name is printed out here. And if we put in brand, that prints. And if we put in num, that also prints. So now that I have that sorted, I want to reformat the file name in the order that I want it to appear. So we're going to reformat the file name by putting in placeholders using curly brackets. And then we're going to put in the dash to separate the different parts of the file name. Curly bracelets, hyphen, curly bracelets. And then the last part, we want it to be the file extension. So we'll just put in another curly bracelets. So write dot format. And I'll pass in the file name in the order that you want to show. So first I want to put the number. So put f num. Second, I want to see the title. And last, I want to see the brand. And after that, we're going to put in the extension. So let's run this. So now that we have it separated in the order that we want it to display in, we can see there are some things that we rather have removed, which is the white space. So we can remove that by creating variables and attaching the function strip to them. So it will look something like this. I'm going to write equal dot strip and do the same for the rest. And you can see that it only removed the white space in between the list items that were created for the file. Also, I don't like the number sign at the beginning, and we can get rid of it by using range to select the second character in the file string until the end of the file string. So we'll start at 1 and then put the colon. And that will take anything after the 0 position, which is the first character in the list item, and it'll give me everything from there on forward. So when we run it, you can see now the number sign is gone. So now I want to make sure these file names are listed in order from 1 to 12. In order to do that, we need to make sure that each digit is a double digit number. And we can do this by padding on a 0 to the single digit numbers using a function called zfill. So type dot zfill, open brackets, and put in the number 2. And that will make sure that each number has 2 digits in it. So this will now add a 0 onto all the single digit numbers. So run this. And now you can see that each single digit number now has a 0 on the end of it. If you want to remove something from this file name, you can do that as well. The one thing I would like to remove is the brand. So we can do that by selecting where that placeholder is, removing it there. And we need to remove the hyphen as well, because after that comes the extension. And then remove where you see brand over here as well. So run this, and you can see the brand name is now removed. And just as you remove something, you can also add something that wasn't there before. So you will simply put a placeholder, say I want to add something to the end. So you put your placeholder back there, hyphen, curly brackets. Let's add something random, say funny pics. Quotation. So type funny pics here. And when we run that, you'll see that it added funny pics to the end of the file name. But I actually don't want to put anything at the end of the file name. I just want to have the number and the pic name, and that's it. So I'm going to remove the last part that I did. So in order to actually make these changes to the file name, we'll need to write one more piece of code. We're going to put this bit of code into a variable, and we'll call it new name. And then we need to write os.rename, open parentheses, pass through f, and then pass through that variable, new name. Now when we run this code, all the file names will be automatically changed. And I'll show you how this looks by putting these two windows side by side, so that when I run it, you automatically see it change over here. Let's go ahead and run it. And you can see each file name was changed automatically.